This serial has to have one of the best character introductions ever. Ah, the evil one! I'm not the evil one. Yes, you're the evil one! No, I'm the doctor. Would you like a jelly baby? They say the evil one eats babies! This is the face of evil. Not to be confused with the planet of evil. Or the hand of the planet of the face of the evil of the elbow of the Daleks of the... Anyway, you get the point by now. So, who's excited about the first 60th anniversary special coming out tomorrow? Or the day after, depending on where you live. Needless to say, I greatly appreciate you putting your excitement on hold to watch this here review. We're past the midway point of Season 14 now, with another 4-part serial, with Episode 1 premiering on the 1st of January 1977. Good year, 77. Rumors, Hotel California, Smokey and the Bandit, Close Encounters. Oh, and this little, not quite well-known, like, cult classic film you might have heard of called Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars, this character of Caleb, every time I saw him, I'm like, he looks so familiar. Where have I seen him before? I've definitely seen him somewhere. Sure enough, gave it a quick Google. The dude was in Star Wars. Not a major character or anything, but yeah. The same year, he was in Star Wars. And I recognised him. I've seen Star Wars too many times. Anyways, the Doctor finds himself embroiled in a conflict between a primitive tribe and an invisible threat. Something's obviously up though, because what's the deal with all these primitive folk being surrounded by all this unused futuristic technology? I'll say it now, the unclear circumstances had me really engaged, wondering what led to this clash of technologies. It's like seeing a Neanderthal caveman with a 70-inch flat-screen 4K television, but he's using it as a table. And why is there a sinister voice, so obviously voiced by Tom Baker? And why is the Doctor's face carved into the side of a mountain, Mount Rushmore style? All these questions and more will be answered right here. Yep, for once, the DVD cover don't lie, that is indeed the Doctor's face carved into a cliff face. Is it just me, or could that easily pass as John Pertwee as well as Tom Baker? I think it's just me. To begin with, this reminded me of the more broader storyline from The Doctor's Daughter. Remember that really awesome Series 4 episode with Martha and Donna, where it turns out that this multi-generational war was really only taking place for like a week? I was expecting something similar here, especially with the Doctor discovering a time barrier surrounding the area, and he explains that it's a way of keeping whatever's inside a few seconds out of time, making it nearly impossible to find. Again, like the modern series, where Gallifrey was hidden a couple of seconds out of time and the 11th Doctor couldn't find it. At least I think I'm remembering that correctly. It has been 10 years after all. Either way, it doesn't matter, because the idea adds nothing and goes nowhere. And I hate to say it, but the face of evil really fell off for me after a while. I was really loving the first 2.5 episodes with this outcast girl Leela helping the Doctor figure out why everyone thinks he's this evil one and what's really going on and why his face is carved into the side of a mountain. Well, that almost all gets completely dropped in favour of this boring exploration into the T.A.R.D.I.S, the telepathic race that go against the tribespeople, or the savages as they call them. Oh man, I wish this was more like the first Doctor story, the savages, but it doesn't end up going that way. But surely this was all leading up to an eventual reveal where it turns out that they were both from the same society, but they got split up and their memories were altered so they didn't remember that they were once the same or something, right? No? It's all a bit muddled and wishy-washy. Easily one I'd have to watch again or read the novelization to completely understand. Plus, there's these constant confusing references to a previous unseen excursion by the 4th Doctor that somehow affects what's happening now in this place. I would have been completely clueless if I didn't happen to glance a brief plot synopsis while on Wikipedia. That being that there was an AI with split personalities, one of which being that of the Doctor. Huh. Can't say I've heard that one before. So, points for originality. Not a terrible idea either. They do sort of explore it, but it's quite rushed and, again, muddled. It's a good word for it. Very unclear, that's for sure. In the end, I was getting this strong feeling that there was a real false depth to the story. Like the writers had come up with all this stuff about two opposing sides, both of which believe that they're the chosen ones. Like seemingly well thought out, well constructed, like two different societies and their own beliefs and stuff, but it's all very surface level. I actually planned on ranting quite extensively about the complete lack of explanation as to why these two groups were even at odds with each other and why they bothered fighting to start with, but of course, right at the very end, they throw in some sci-fi mumbo-jumbo excuse about how it was supposedly the AI that was manipulating them the whole time. Man, I was so into this one in the beginning, but that final third just had my brains leaking out my eye. I wrote down leaking out my eyes. No! That's so violent. No, my brain was leaking out my ears, not my eyes. It wasn't even a matter of the story not going where I expected it to go, because I didn't have any expectations. It just kind of dove right off a cliff. A cliff with the Doctor's face on it. Not to say it's completely without merit. It is so good for a laugh when the actors completely commit to their absolute insanity.
I'd be careful of that if I were you. It's an ultra beam accelerator.
See how it fears the sacred relics of Zoano.
Oh, that had me laughing for ages. As for the Tesh, the uppity, pompous guys in the green jumpsuits, I tell you what, the Master must be jealous of them. They can make you faint just by intensely staring at you. No eye contact required. So yes, that obviously leads to another Fourth Doctor falling unconscious moment. Add that one to the tally. Surely that's like, what, at least one per serial at this point? Oh, but even then they throw in some stupid line about even their telepathy and telekinesis being a construct of the AI. What? This isn't a simulation, this is real life. What is going on here? Look, I really enjoyed the first 2.5 episodes, but the rest was way too dumb and convoluted for me to remember this one fondly. Although, I will say, I kinda like the way Leela forcefully kidnaps herself, forcing her way into the TARDIS. Because it's not in like an obnoxious, you're taking me with you and that's that bratty kind of way, similar to Dodo, I guess. Well, not really. But it's more just harmless fun. If nothing else, it gave me a bit of a chuckle when she makes her way into the TARDIS and the Doctor's like, don't touch that! And then it dematerializes, ending things on a high note. Oh, hang on. How did they even escape that laser trap? The Doctor just told Leela to close her eyes and then used a little piece of reflective mirror to rebound the very specific laser back, and it was almost as dumb as the incredibly slow-moving laser trap from the Faceless ones. What is it with these stories about faces and having very dumb traps? Please don't hate me for bringing up the Faceless ones. If you're watching this at the time of uploading, then I really hope the 60th anniversary special was good. If you're watching this at a later date, then thanks for watching, and I still hope the 60th anniversary was good. Tune in next week for something of something. Robots of Death.